All right, Jim, beautiful day in Cincinnati, 76 degrees for an AFC Central battle, Jaguars and Bengals. Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween. Gus Johnson along with Brent Jones. The Jacksonville Jaguars have stormed out of the gate 5-1 on the year, and they get two of their big offensive weapons back today.
Gus, 5-1, but their offense is out of sync. They get Mark Brunell back. He's ready to go. He wants to make some plays downfield to his big wide receivers. How do you do that? You get your running game going. Fred Taylor's back as well. He's explosive. That Bengals secondary is going to have to be alert for him breaking some big plays. Talking about big plays, the Bengals need to get Corey Dillon running the ball. They've got to pound it up in there, get that running game going.
Series tied at 8. Coming up, Bengals and Jaguars.
Wake up to something new. Visit Ramada and enter to win a trip to New York to see the early show with Bryant and Jane. And enjoy a behind-the-scenes breakfast on the set. Enter now only at Ramada.
For everybody loves.
For the Jaguars, October 31st should be just another day. They have a chance to capture their best start in franchise history. But on Halloween, expect the unexpected. Akili Smith and the Bengals have not scared anybody. In fact, at 1-6, they are just plain ugly. Today at kickoff, do the Bengals become unmasked? Or do the Jaguars keep the cats under their spell? A trick-or-treat edition of the NFL on CBS next. CBS Week 8 from Cincinnati. Jacksonville at 5-1 against Cincinnati on Halloween. Yeah, baby. Behave.
Now without a prescription, Lamisil AT for athlete's foot. So
6 degrees, partly cloudy, but the sun is out right now. Jacksonville has won the toss, and Tom Coughlin elects to receive the ball. 5th season as the Jaguars head coach, one of the best in the business after only 5 years. The standings in the AFC Central, Jacksonville, Tennessee tied. Remember, Tennessee takes on St. Louis today at home. St. Louis 6-0, a big test for the Tennessee Titans. Bruce Coslett under fire his 4th year here in Cincinnati. Will Bryce sends it away. Reggie Barlow fields it at the 20-yard line. And Barlow all the way up to the 35, make it the 36, a gain of 16 yards. Special teams tackle made by Steve Foley. And that'll bring on the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Mark Brunell, who was taken out of the 4th quarter during the Cleveland game because of a strained muscle in his rib cage area, and the numbers on the season.
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing, Gus, interceptions, leading touchdown passes right now, and I don't think that'll stay that way, especially today. If you're going to get better, this is the defensive secondary to get better against.
Jaguars coming off the bye week. They start from their own 36-yard line. Kyle Brady in motion. Brunell passing on 1st down, finds a tight end who's chopped down at the 40-yard line. Roosevelt Blackman was the tackle. Offensively for the Jaguars, Tony Baselli, regarded as the best left tackle in the NFL. Coleman, Wade, Tilsky, and Leon Searcy also having a fine season. Backs and receivers, Fred Taylor missed 3 games, had 1,200 yards rushing a season ago. Shelton, the fullback. Smith and McCardell, dangerous threats. And Kyle Brady, the tight end. 2nd down, 6 from the 40-yard, 25, a gain of 35 yards, and that's what they've been missing.
And that is exactly what they've been missing. Fred Taylor, the big breakaway threat, and once he gets out into that secondary, anything can happen. You're going to see him break through that line right here. Great double team, Baselli, Kyle Brady on the outside, working the tight end tackle combo. You see Fred Taylor cutting back, just running, breaking tackles. And Gus, I was very impressed with how big Fred was. The first time I saw him yesterday, he's got some meat on those bones.
6'1", 229 from the 25-yard line now. And Brunell hands it off to the deep back. Brian Simmons with the stop. James Stewart carrying the ball. Cincinnati, they run a 3-4. Copeland, Gibson, and Langford up front. The linebackers all in their 2nd year. The best are in the middle, Simmons and Spikes, along with Ross and Fowler. The secondary, Roosevelt Blackman, Artrell Hawkins, the corners. Corey Hall, Myron Bell, the safeties. Second down, 9 from the 24. Brunell passing, flushed out of the pocket. He can run. Brunell tiptoes out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Brian Simmons there to usher him out of bounds, but he gains 12.
And the diversity right now, the Jags offense is something that they've been missing. That big run by Fred Taylor really opens up things when you start talking about defensive backs and linebackers having to get big drops in the passing game. Then they have to be concerned about Fred Taylor in the run game. Mark Brunell breaks that pocket. People forget Mark Brunell can still run. He can still run that 4.6 and get some yards on you.
Reminds a lot of people of a young Steve Young, your former teammate. First down from the 12. Fred Taylor. And this time he goes nowhere. Loses maybe a yard and a half. Oliver Gibson to Keo Spikes combining on the tackle.
And watch the penetration by Oliver Gibson, number 99, getting right up in there. You'll see him right over the center. Getting in, getting underneath with his arm, ripping right through the defensive lineman. And Takeo Spikes, of course, getting some penetration as well. And that's what Cincinnati thinks is the strength of this defense, that linebacking spot. Spikes and Simmons, the law firm.
Jaguars in the red zone, 20 possessions. They rank 24th in the NFL. Second down and 11. McCardell in motion. Out of the backfield, caught. At the 1-yard line, Tavian Banks knocked out of bounds. It's a 12-yard gain, and he gets close to Bader. Knocked out of bounds at the last moment by Artrell Hawkins.
And that's another weapon that the Jags need to start using with doubled coverage on the outside. You see Tavian Banks catch the ball coming out of the backfield. Nobody's there. He doesn't even get hit till right before the goal line.
Did he get in?
And he just didn't get in.
He didn't get the ball over the line. Fred Taylor leaning forward. And let's see, I believe he is short as well. Taylor does not have a touchdown this season as of yet. James Stewart, his replacement, has 464 yards rushing in 6 games.
Getting back to Tavian Banks, using him as a receiver coming out of the backfield is really an added weapon, added dimension to this Jags offense. When you get double coverage outside, getting him underneath on a linebacker can be a big threat for you.
Damon Shelton, Fred Taylor line up in the I formation. Here's Taylor again. Touchdown. So just like that, 10:38 to go in the first quarter of play, a 35-yard run by Fred Taylor, and the Jaguars have taken a 6-0 lead. Brings on Mike Hollis to attempt the extra point. Brian Barker, his holder. And the extra point is up and good. 8 plays, 64 yards. They held the ball for 4 minutes and 22 seconds.
You're going to see Brian Simmons right here get flicked off. 62, Ben Coleman. Get up on that linebacker, touchdown.
Once again, the market saw incredible gains. Tech is up, utilities are up.
Goes wrong.
A man is dead.
Is the victim reaching out from the grave?
I have had visions that I can't explain.
All new Jag, CBS Tuesday.
1-yard touchdown run from Fred Taylor, and the Jaguars take a 7-0 lead. And look at Taylor on the drive, 4 carries, 35 yards. Steve Lindsey comes in to kick it off. Has 13 touchbacks on the year. This one angles towards the corner and rolls right out of bounds. Make it 14. So the Bengals will start from their own 20-yard line. Akili Smith last week in a loss, a 31-10 loss to Indianapolis. He was 12 of 24, 122 yards.
A lot of pressure falls on Akili. They gave up 5 sacks, though, last week. One of the big keys for them today, protect their rookie quarterback.
From San Diego, California, played at Oregon. Starts from his own 20. Darnay Scott in motion. Play action. Smith under pressure. Pop. Now Akili Smith goes down at the 15. Loses 5 yards on the play. Smengi and Carnell Lake combining on the tackle. Offensively for the Cincinnati Bengals, Willie Anderson in the lineup despite an injured right knee. He sat out most of the week. Lewinberg, Graham, O'Dwyer, and Jones. Backs and receivers, Corey Dillon, third in the AFC in rushing. Gross, the fullback. Pickens, Scott need to come up with some big plays, and McGee is the tight end. Second down and 14 from the 16-yard line. Scott in motion once again. Corey Dillon. No room on the left side. Kevin Hardy with the tackle. The Jacksonville Jaguars defense ranked #1 in the NFL. Last year they were 25th. And take a look, Tony Bracken's having a career year with 6 sacks already. The linebackers, Kevin Hardy leads the team in tackles. He also has 4.5 sacks. Martin and Bryce Pop. And in the secondary, the big acquisition, Carnell Lake coming over from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Third down and 12 from the 18. They need to go to the 34, first down. High snap, Smith underneath, incomplete. Broken up by Fernando Bryant. They're very impressed with this rookie out of the University of Alabama.
And usually you got teams going right after rookies. They haven't thrown a lot of Fernando Bryant yet this year. He's been playing a solid corner, and that's been a big part of the Jags turnaround. Who would have thought the Jags would have the #1 defense and the 19th ranked offense? It's always been the opposite of that every year, and that's really changed this Jags team. Allows them to be able to run and pound the ball and rely more on their defense. Fernando Bryant, a big part of that.
Brings on Will Bryce, who's standing at his 2-yard line. Reggie Barlow at the 36. Tom Coughlin says he wants a better output from Barlow on special teams, but not on this punt. A wobbly punt, takes a Cincinnati roll and gets all the way down to the 41. 9:04 to go in the first quarter. Jacksonville up and with the ball once again.
Sorry.
Can't get away with just wearing a hat for Halloween.
And a festive atmosphere here in Cincinnati on a beautiful day, 76 degrees on the field. Mark Brunell got off to a great start, driving the Jaguars down the field and into the end zone. 2 of 2 thus far. He starts from his own 42. Short drop underneath, caught by Damon Jones, the tight end. Brian Simmons with the tackle inside Cincinnati territory. A gain of 11.
And those are some of the things that Mark Brunell is going to have to do to get this passing game back in sync. Cincinnati's laying back, playing that 2 deep coverage, doubling the wide receivers. When you get that, you've got to hit your tight ends and your backs over the middle of the field.
So Mark Brunell completing first down at the Cincinnati 47. Here's the pitch to Fred Taylor. And he scampers out of bounds at the 40. Artrell Hawkins knocking him out of bounds. And Mark Brunell has really struggled this year with the new offense. If you take a look at his touchdown passes through 6 starts the past 4 years, numbers are down.
And he has gotten off to a slow start, but there's also been some rumblings that the Jags have turned a little more conservative, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. We talked to Tom Coughlin a lot about it.
Chris Palmer leaving, the former offensive coordinator, now the head coach in Cleveland. First down from the 36. Brunell looking down the field. He's got Jimmy Smith. Incomplete. Smith had at least 2 steps on Artrell Hawkins, and Brunell unable to put it on him.
And that's just going to go right off the tips of the fingers of Jimmy Smith. You see, Jimmy Smith makes that catch an awful lot, and Mark Brunell put some good air on that ball. And Hawkins was beat right now. When you're beat by 2 or 3 steps right off the line, it's tough getting back and getting some coverage on Jimmy Smith, and that's what the Jags are looking for, connecting on that big play today.
Smith has the most receiving yards in the NFL over the last 3 years. Second down from the 36. Brunell, pump fake, goes up top once again, incomplete. Keenan McCardell, the intended receiver. They go the other side.
Mark Brunell took a nice shot on that play. It's because he gave a little hitch. You get a little double move. You watch him hitch right here to see if you get the corner to bite. Roosevelt Blockman bit on that play last week against the Colts, and Bankston's getting a shot on Mark Brunell, driving him to the turf, and You know, with that rib injury, it's the muscle underneath his rib, so it's not as much sort of contact as it is just throwing and loosening up.
3rd down, 10 from the 36. They need to get to the 26 for a first down.
Little confusion on the Bengals side. That's not a timeout you want to take on the defensive side of the ball.
Timeout, Cincinnati. 7:58 to go. First quarter, Jacksonville up 7-0.
So with Staples.com, you order the supplies you want, I approve them, and they're delivered the next day.
You mean I can order pins?
Yes.
Paper?
Yes.
How about an executive leather chair?
You are watching CBS Sports, the exclusive home of the Daytona 500.
What a fine job by this young man against Cleveland. 12 of 14, came in the 3rd quarter, led Jacksonville to victory over the Browns. On the sideline today, 3rd down, 10 from the 36-yard line. They need to get to the 26 for a first down. Brunell, quick release, caught. Reggie Barlow with the reception and a first down.
And that's the thing that Mark Brunell can do for you. He can see the double coverage on the outside, come underneath the slot guy, Reggie Barlow. You got to take the one-on-one shot, runs a slant. Just enough for the first down. You're going to see initially that blitz coming, Barlow looking, good hot read. Hot reads when the linebackers blitz, you got to turn. You can't just keep running your pattern. You got to turn around because your quarterback's going to get killed if you don't turn and look for the ball.
7 first downs for the Jaguars already. First down from the 25. Shelton in motion. Fred Taylor stop and start, changes directions and snakes down at the 24. Steve Foley right on top of it.
And you can see what Fred Taylor brings, stop and start. He only got 2 yards, but he hit it up into the pile, bounced it back outside. Luckily the Bengals were strong in pursuit. But the Bengals are concerned about Fred Taylor. They don't have the big hogs in the front defensive line to slow these guys down. They rely on the quickness and speed of their linebackers to make the play. They're going to have to be all over the field to keep Fred Taylor from having a big day.
Taylor 6 carries, 48 yards already. 2nd down, 8 from the 23. Brunell fires in the end zone, incomplete. Ball intended for Jimmy Smith. He was open. Roosevelt Blackman fell down. And you may see a little rust now from Mark Brunell.
Yeah, and although Roosevelt Blackman, the double move got him, and you see him fall down right here, and he actually holds up Jimmy Smith just enough, trips him, but that would have been a touchdown. Mark Brunell threw it right where Jimmy Smith was going to be had he not tripped.
You're exactly right.
And I guess if you're going to trip as a defensive back, spread those legs out so you can trip the receiver as well.
3rd down, 8 from the 23. Brunell, one of it. Keenan McCardell, 2nd touchdown reception of the year.
And you're going to see the trips formation here to the right side of the screen. Keenan McCardell just coming up running a hook route over the middle. Corner gets turned around. And Greg Myers, a free safety, 31, just misses the tackle. There's nothing special about that. McCardell caught the ball, went to turn up the field. He was surprised nobody was there. Free safety's got to make that one, Gus.
Extra point is up and good. 8 plays, 58 yards, a 23-yard touchdown. Brunell to McCardell, and the Jaguars are roaring here in Cincinnati.
Bonding among the nomadic males is a fascinating process.
Sponsored by Web TV. Visit us at www.webtv.com and buy Blue from American Express.
Jaguars kicking it off. Tremaine Mack back deep. Starts from his own 1. Up to the 30-yard line. 30-yard return. Monday on CBS, it's the comedy broadcasting system. Beginning with an all-new The King of Queens, followed by an all-new Ladies' Man. Then, Monday's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond, and an all-new Becker, plus a special edition of 48 Hours. All Monday on CBS. Jacksonville, welcome to your bye week. Wow.
It's not fair to have at your home stadium.
Bruce Coslett, you just wonder, as Randy Cross and Jim Nantz and company talked about during the NFL today, this could be his last game. Lonnie Marks with the tackle. And it's a loss of about 5 yards.
Lonnie Marks getting some penetration right now. And that's the problem right now with this Bengals team. Offensive line hasn't been able to stop anybody. They haven't get the running game on track. They haven't been able to pass block. You see Lonnie Marks come right through there untouched.
Kansas City up 10-0 already. And how about Tony Banks starting his first game of the year for Baltimore? 7-yard touchdown pass.
Well, Brian
Justin Arnold. Second down, 14.
I think the Bengals were moving.
72 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
I guess the only time it's okay to have -7 yards is after the first play of the game if somehow you give up a sack. But other than that, you better never have -7 yards, especially well into the first quarter.
Bengals have been struggling this season. Been outscored 154-49.
And that's one of the problems. They haven't been able to get their running game going because they're playing from behind.
Second and 19. Smith. Nobody open, decides to run. Oh, and McKeely Smith takes a blow at the 27-yard line. Kevin Hardy almost took the rookie's head off. He's got to slide down. He's a baseball player. He should know how.
And he's a competitor, and these young rookies coming in the league, and they always want to try to get that extra yard and put their head down. Might earn you some respect on your team, but you can't have any respect when you're sitting on the sidelines hurt. Kevin Hardy's having a Pro Bowl year for the Jags. We got to work on Achilles' slide. He's a baseball player. He ought to know how to slide.
Played in the Pirates organization. Third down, 13 from the 27. Smith out of the shotgun. They need to go to the 40 for a first down. Here comes a blitz, bad snap. Smith steps up. Now decides to run. Looking for the first and has it. 16-yard gain.
See Kevin Hardy a little shaken up on that play. And that's what happens when you bring the blitz and you want to come after a rookie quarterback. And watch the high snap here. We've had a couple of high snaps here from Bram. But when you bring everybody, there's nobody in that intermediate level to take the quarterback if he runs. And once he breaks that pocket, nobody's there. Achilles Smith doesn't slide this time, but he's smart enough to get out of bounds.
First down of the game for the Bengals from the 44. Corey Dillon. And Dillon all the way to the 35. Aaron Beasley makes the stop.
And that's what this Bengals team has to do. They have to stay committed to Corey Dillon, get the teams off the double coverage, bring up some safeties to start stopping that run. See Corey Dillon making a nice move outside here. Lineman from the Bengals getting up on those linebackers, and we get Corey Dillon into the secondary.
22-yard pickup from the 34. Dillon running straight ahead. Make it Bass Knight inside the 30.
And it's tough, Gus, when you're behind 14-0 at home to stick with that run game, but you've got to. Otherwise, teams play in nickel. They bring in extra defensive backs, and you can't throw the ball. They double your wide receivers. And right now, that's what they've got to do. You can't panic. It's still first quarter. Run the ball, sets up some play action.
Second down, 3 from the 27. Smith under pressure, trying to get out of the pocket. Smith fires in the end zone. Incomplete, almost intercepted.
Like that, the difference between a sack and a play downfield, and although they didn't complete it, was a lot better than a 7-yard sack.
3rd and 3 from the 27. Smith out of the shotgun. Smith picked off. Beasley down the sideline. Aaron Beasley cuts it back and goes down at the 35. His 4th interception of the year, a return of 38 yards.
And this guy, Aaron Beasley, has been all over the field for the Jags this year. He was the guy last year that people went after. He had a target on his chest. This is his 4th interception. He was the defensive player of the month in the National Football League. He was reading Akili Smith's eyes the whole time, stepped right up. He looked like he was the receiver on the play. You're going to see him. He looks like a running back here, setting up his blocks. He's going to start directing traffic. Let your guys get out in front of you. Get some blocks down the sideline. Looking to cut it back.
So the Jaguars take over at the 37. Taylor gobbled up. No gain on the play. Javon Langford with the tackle.
And Coach Cos is talking to Akili. He's going to say, you're going to have to look off those guys. You can't just focus in on one receiver. And Akili Smith has a tremendous amount of talent. Rocket arm. But when you're young, the game moves so fast, and sometimes you tend to focus on your receivers. And when you're playing an experienced secondary, you really come up to haunt you.
2nd and 11. Slant pattern. Jimmy Smith makes the catch inside the 30. Artrell Hawkins with the tackle, a gain of 9.
And Gus, getting back to that offensive passing game that the Jags have been missing. Jimmy Smith's been getting a lot of double coverage this year, a tremendous amount, more than he's ever seen. And it's easy to get frustrated. You just got to stick with it. And I know James Stewart's done a great job running the ball, filling in for Fred Taylor, but that breakaway threat of Fred Taylor really takes that double coverage off the receivers, bringing that safety up to stop the run.
3rd down and short.
Open right! Open right! Open right!
Brunell out of the backfield. Taylor needed 1 yard and gets it. Takeo spikes with the tackle, but a 1st down for the Jaguars. Monday on CBS, how do you enjoy a romantic weekend getaway when your best friend is next door and the walls are paper thin? Find out on an all-new King of Queens Monday on CBS. Jaguars enjoying another successful drive right now. Fred Taylor over the right side, goes down, gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Brian Simmons with the tackle.
Cincinnati defense has done a better job these last couple plays against Fred Taylor, closing off his gaps inside, making him bounce back out. They've got some speed on the defense, especially at linebacker, to go out and run with them.
And that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter of play with the score, Jacksonville up 14-0. We'll return to Cincinnati right after this message.
Television on the Today Show, but that was yesterday. Now Bryant Gumbel returns with Jane Clayson on the all-new Early Show. Premieres tomorrow.
14-0 Jacksonville, start of the 2nd quarter.
And unfortunately, that's not a Halloween mask. That's been the mask of choice for every game this season right here in Cincinnati.
Keely Smith throwing the interception. The offensive leaders for Jacksonville so far, Brunell, 7 of 10, touchdown, no interception. Taylor, 48 yards rushing. Brunell to the sideline, incomplete, intended for McCardell. Covered by Blackman.
Keenan McCardell usually catches that ball. There's a little strange thing when you run a route into the shade coming out of the sun. Sometimes you lose the ball, even if the sun's not in your eyes. You see the shade down there starting about the numbers, and sometimes the ball just gets up on you. You don't see it, just comes out of the blue, and I think that's probably what happened right there, because Keenan McCardell catches that ball every time.
3rd down 10 from the 25. They need to get to the 15 for 1st. Caught by Tavian Banks. Incomplete, though. Juggled it. Did not have control.
And here's the ground level. You see Mark Brunell putting some juice on that ball. Banks initially has it, but he rubs it across the ground. You can't trap the ball against the ground. And that will be an incomplete pass every time.
Brings on Mike Hollis to attempt a 43-yarder. Most accurate field goal kicker in the history of the NFL, 83%. 16 of 17 on the year. Make it 17 of 18. 43-yard field goal is good for Tom Coughlin's Jaguars. Start of the second quarter, they're already up 17-6. Jacksonville up 17-0, kicking it off. Tremaine Mack. And Mack drilled at the 25. Brian Schwartz, backup middle linebacker, with a tremendous blow. And an injured Jaguar on the field. Back to Cincinnati after this.
This is Propecia, a pill that might interest you.
He's a backup running back for Jacksonville, having problems with the left knee. Injured it on special teams.
Yeah, that's not good when he's not putting any pressure on it.
Bruce Coslett on the sideline trying to figure something out. His team takes over from the 25. Jacksonville with 134 yards in total offense. Cincinnati with 35. Here's the flea flicker. Doesn't fool anybody. Carl Pickens. And he gets it up the field to the 43. And that is career reception number 500 for Pickens.
And they got to take that ball off the field. You got to save 500.
19-yard gain.
And Akili Smith made that play because he was getting some pressure, got out of the pocket. Donovan Darius, safety, covering Carl Pickens man-to-man across the field. That's a little bit of a mismatch, and it's got to feel good for Carl to get big number 500.
First down from the 44. Smith completes it over the middle. Craig Yeast with the reception, and the ball was down, or it came out after he hit the ground. 6-yard gain.
And once the whistle blows, there will be no review, and he's knee looked down. Craig Yeast, and one of the problems, Craig just coming off and getting some playing time after being injured. And you haven't had contact for a while. It's tough hanging on to that ball.
Second down. And the Bengals running the football. They get close to midfield and push back. Lonnie Martz and Kevin Hardy combining on the play. Corey Dillon running the football.
And how about this Jacksonville defense turning around to be number 1? And there's so many things that you can point to, but I really think their defensive secondary had been their Achilles heel the last couple of years. And bringing in number 37, Carnell Lake, from the Steelers was quite a move. Just calm down these young guys in the secondary, and they are playing with a lot of confidence. Beasley, Bryant, the rookie, and
3rd and 4. They look for Smith on the backside. Smith picks up the first down. Right now, Bruce Coslett is doing anything to get this offense going.
Got a few more tricks than treats today, huh? Here in Cincinnati.
No question. Carl Pickens, not a bad throw.
There you go, 500 catches and 1 completion. It's 1,000. What's his quarterback rating, 1 for 1?
It's perfect, 158 point something.
There you go.
First down, 10 from the 44. Akili with his first career reception. Under pressure. Smith dances out of the pocket and is swarmed under. Kevin Hardy. Second sack of the day for Jacksonville. They came into this game with 22 sacks. Last year they only had 30. Domination. Dom Capers, the defensive coordinator, what a terrific job he's done with this team. Number 1 ranked defense in the NFL, and they're ranked number 1 in almost every category.
Yeah, look at that third down conversion, 26.8%. So At 2.5 times out of 10, teams are converting on third down. That is a huge, huge defensive stand.
Capers was in the middle. Over the middle, caught. Craig Yeast. Tackle by Fernando Bryant. Yeast, a rookie out of Kentucky, replaces Damon Griffin. Dom Capers was the architect of that great Pittsburgh defense. Left, went to Carolina where he was the head coach, fired, and now has landed in Jacksonville. And this defense has never looked better. They were ranked 25th last year, ranked ¡1 this year. Timeout Cincinnati, 11:02 to go, second quarter. 17-0 Jacksonville.
It's tough to put your finger on.
Goes second quarter. NFL players aren't afraid to talk. Hear what they have to say as you relive the best quotes from the NFL players and coaches. Just click on NFL Rewind at cbs.sportsline.com. Third down and 7 from the Jacksonville 41. Seventh play of the drive. Smith over the middle. Yeast with the catch and a first down.
Craig Yeast, you're going to see him come right out of here out of the slot. He's going to run just a crossing route. Man-to-man coverage actually going into the safety as well. It's making a nice grab. Akili Smith has got that strong arm, quick release. Put it in there right now. That was a big third down conversion for the Bengals.
3 catches, 20 yards for Yeast. Smith lobbing it in the end zone. Picked up. Donovan Darius, second interception of the game for Akili Smith.
And when you lob the ball, you're going to have to lob it more outside. You can't get it inside where the safety is. Darius doesn't have to come over too far, makes the catch.
Bengals turn it over again, down 17-0.
Look, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting.
You are watching CBS Sports, showcasing college football's top teams.
You're going to see Darnay Scott run a go route right here, get pushed inside. Akili Smith's got to get the ball back outside the numbers. You got to get it wide. You don't want that safety being able to come over and make the play. Lead it away from the safety. Let your receiver have a chance to go up and make the play.
Jaguars take over at their own 2-yard line. Taylor changes directions, gets to the 9. Brian Simmons with the tackle. Donovan Darius with the interception. Second-year man out of Syracuse. A lot of people compare him to Ronnie Lott. He has an aggressive style of play coming from the strong safety position.
And he's really worked on his coverage, and that's been a big part because he's already bringing the licks. Carnell Lakes calmed him down, got him focusing on some coverage techniques. That's really going to improve his game.
Second down and 3. Taylor, what a move. And he picks up the first down.
Well, you're not going to be able to coach this move. Watch 55, the linebacker coming to your screen at the bottom with Fred Taylor trying to cut back. Whoops! Renard Wilson, you can't coach that, Gus. Wow. That's called shake and bake, and that's what the Jags offense has missed with Fred Taylor.
Taylor missing 3 games because of the hamstring injury. Back 100%. You can tell 60 yards rushing already. Brunell in the seam. Kyle Brady with the catch at the 40-yard line. Nice over-the-shoulder catch for the highest-paid tight end in the NFL.
And that's a tough catch for a big tight end rumbling down the field. Kyle Brady known more for his blocking. Mark Brunell said versus 2-deep coverage, we've got to get the tight end down the field. Keeping your eye on it over your head, that is a tough grab with the linebacker right in your face. And Tom Coughlin talked about Kyle Brady emerging in the pass game. And that's how you got to beat that double coverage.
Played 4 years in New York for Bill Parcells out of Penn State. Taylor to to the 45. Next Sunday, shake, rattle, and roll. Next Sunday on CBS. Second down 4 from the 45.
Check, 192. Roger. 192.
Here comes a blitz. Hitch pass, Jimmy Smith. And Smith dragged down by Artrell Hawkins. And first down, gain of 6.
You heard Mark Brunell audibling. They saw the corners were playing off coverage about 10 yards. So he just audible to that hitch route, Gus, like you said. Just take it. You get 5 yards and a first down, take it.
New Orleans leading Cleveland. With the big score so far, Tennessee thumping St. Louis, the only undefeated team in the NFL. Play action. Brunell gets out of the pocket. Throws it away. Flags on the play.
John Copeland, number 92, was getting some good pressure. I think he was getting held from the Jacksonville side.
And Brunell may have hurt himself on the throw.
Holding, 72 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Leon Searcy.
And Mark Brunell rolling to his right side. That's tough for a left-hander. You're going to see him grab the back, right in that muscle underneath the ribs, and you just wonder if zinging it across your body, rolling the opposite way that you're used to throwing, just to get the ball out of bounds. And you can see him. He's touching it.
Stays in. Brunell 9 of 14. 104 yards. Fires it out of bounds. And he's hurting. Mark Brunell is hurting right now.
And he is hurting. You can just see him get rolling out of that pocket. It's not like being able to set your feet and throw. You're getting out there and you're twisting and contorting all your muscles. And you can see him hunch over right there and just kind of saunter. And I'm surprised that they haven't seen that on the Jacksonville sideline and take him out for a couple plays.
There's Jay Fiedler, 12 of 14, 2 weeks ago against Cleveland. Played at Dartmouth. Tom Coughlin really impressed with the young man's ability. Draw play, Taylor. Fred Taylor. See you later. Taylor down the sidelines, dragged down inside the 10.
And that is just unbelievable. They're basically running a play to protect Mark Brunell, and they almost get a touchdown out of it. Myron Bell, number 40, you're going to see the safeties get juked right here. Fred Taylor, you've got to make that tackle as a safety, because once this guy hits the secondary, it is all over. 6'1", 225 pounds of speed. And he is almost gone, just dragged down right here at the end by Hawkins. They were just trying to protect Brunell with that handoff.
Fred Taylor, a 52-yard gainer. He has 118 yards rushing in the first half of play. James Stewart this time around the corner and knocked out of bounds by Foley at the 4.
And James Stewart has really been a workhorse, and nobody wanted to take anything away from James. Great team player, hits it up there hard. But Fred Taylor is a guy that can make some things happen, and Mark Brunell still looks like he's in pain. And after this touchdown, I wouldn't be surprised to not see Brunell the rest of the day. The Jags can get it in for 6.
Cincinnati
calls timeout. 6:04 to go. Second quarter. Jacksonville threatening once again, up 17-0.
This is your new business. And this is your new...
Welcome back to Synergy Field, Cincinnati, Ohio. 6:04 to go, second quarter. Jaguars lead it 17-0, and they have the ball on the Bengals' 3-yard line. Mark Brunell, who missed the fourth quarter of their last game against Cleveland, tearing some muscles in his ribcage area. Looks like he may have aggravated the injury here in the second quarter. Rolls out. Inside. Touchdown.
There you go. They're trying to decide if Jimmy Smith had possession. And Mark Brunell has some juice on this pass. You're going to see him just roll left and fire it right into Jimmy Smith, run a little stick route. Nice grab, hanging onto it, keeping it off the carpet.
A 98-yard drive for the Jaguars. Here comes Hollis in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. Jimmy Smith, his second receiving touchdown of the season. Mark Cardell had one earlier. He now has two. And the drive once again. 9 plays, 98 yards, 426. Gus Johnson along with Brett Jones, and the Jaguars have scored on every possession so far.
And that's exactly what you want to do if you're a Jags fan. Come out, get that offense rolling, get Mark Brunell into the game, get some touchdown passes to your wide receivers. That's what he's done. This offense, the passing game, seems like it's back in sync. With that, him grabbing that rib, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see him sitting down. 24-0. It's too much of a risk now to have him in the game.
Now, 2 weeks ago against Cleveland, Brunell injured the rib cage area in a game. This was on the throw. Nobody touched him, and he just went down in pain. Now, 2 weeks ago, he actually injured the, this is earlier in this game, on the last drive, but really, Brunell injured the rib area in practice 2 weeks ago, and it was aggravated in the game against Cleveland, and it has been re-aggravated today.
And Tom Coughlin and the trainer have to be in Mark Brunell's ear and say, hey, are you okay to go?
Jags send it away. Mack from the goal line. Wrapped up at the 29. Next Saturday, join us for a celebration of the Gridiron's all-time greatest. From Jim Brown to Joe Montana, when the Sporting News selects football's 100 greatest players right here on CBS Sports.
I'll have something to say about that because there's a couple guys I think they had out of order at the top of that list.
Who was better, Montana or Steve Young?
Montana was the best, even better than Jim Brown.
I don't know about that. You may have an argument on your hands there, Brent Jones. Tony Bracken's with the tackle.
You don't want to get me started because I'm ready to go.
Whoa. Why? Why was he better than Jim Brown?
I really think you got to take the era in which they played. I think football really progressed the style of athlete that Joe Montana had to play against and how he had to do it, how he was a marked man week in and week out against a better athlete and winning those 4 championships when people knew with different personnel. I think a quarterback has to be the #1 guy.
Smith over the middle, caught by his tight end McGee. But you're going to penalize Jim Brown for all of his accomplishments.
I am not going to
the athletes that were
Jim
there.
Brown is the greatest running back. The greatest player in professional football can't be a running back because they just have to worry about one thing: run the ball. They don't have to read defenses. They don't have to make the throws. They don't have to scramble out of the pocket. They don't have to get away from linebackers blitzing Lawrence Taylor. They don't have to check down to their backs. There's a lot of things you got to do when you're a quarterback.
All right.
See, I told you I was fired up.
You were fired up about that one. 3rd down and short for the Bengals. Dillon looking for the 1st down. Let's see. Keely Smith still in the game. 4:22 to go in the second quarter. So they bring out the chains.
And that's something that the Bengals need to have more of is 3rd and shorts. They don't have a lot of those. Bruce Cosett said they've been having too many 2nd and 3rd and 8s. That means you got to get something going on 1st down. 3rd and short, a lot easier to convert.
Didn't get it. Do you go for it? You're down 24-0.
Well, it can't get much uglier than being down 24-0 in the first half. And on your own 39, that's a tough call. I think you got to go for it. Otherwise, you just take yourself out of the game. Because the Bengals defense has not stopped Jacksonville all day, and so if you can't get a half yard, you're in trouble.
Bengals 3 for 9 on 4th down conversions. Play action. Smith going down the field for Scott. Incomplete. Hung it up too high. Broken up by Fernando Bryant. And the Jags take over.
Well, that's one of those calls where if it works, you look like a genius. But Akili Smith hung the ball up just a little bit too much in the air. They were going after the rookie, Fernando Bryant, who does a great job. See Akili Smith break the pocket, but Fernando Bryant running across at the top of your screen, hung tight, broke up the play, and then it doesn't look like such a great call. I like being aggressive, though. The Bengals have nothing to lose. It's better than a 1-yard run pounded in there or half a yard run and not getting the first down. Take a shot. This team has to start taking some shots downfield.
First down for Jacksonville from the Cincinnati 38. Taylor inside the 35. Let's head to New York and Jim Nance.
Well, Gus, the Saints were up 7-0 early on a touchdown pass, but back comes Tim Couch from Cleveland with one of their own. Mark Edwards hauls it in from 27 yards out. It's a little different Brownie squad than the one you saw last week. Gus and Brent, back to you.
No question about it, but even in the game last week against St. Louis, we saw the Browns do some good things.
Yeah, they were really getting some confidence on the offensive side of the ball.
And the big game next week against Baltimore. Play action. And Brunell sunk at the 44. Kimo von Oelhoffen got to him.
And sometimes play action can hurt you when you try to set up. You take a little extra time selling the fake. Mark Brunell, great job selling it. But that Bengals defensive line, Kimo, they're in there right now. And so he just ducks his head down and tries not to get hurt. There's sometimes where you just got to take the sack.
Kimo von Oelhoffen, 6th year out of Boise State. Third down 14 from the 43. They need to get to the 29 for a first. Lost 10 yards on the last play. Brunell to the corner. Tavian Banks, first down. Inside the 5. Great touch pass by Mark Brunell.
And he put it right on Tavian Banks' numbers. And you got to start wondering, how has this offense been out of sync? They are doing everything today. And these are the things that we talked about. When they double the wide receivers, you got to get the ball to your backs. Tavian Banks, like a young Eric Metcalf, used to cause havoc in defensive secondaries. And Mark Brunell puts great air under the ball. Lays it right in there, and that's the type of throw. You can't throw that on the line. Guys can break it up, put it in the air, let your running back run under it.
The pitch, Fred Taylor follows his blocks, dances out of bounds. At the 4, Artrell Hawkins there to push him out.
And you saw Mark Brunell grabbing his ribs here for the last couple series. But he hasn't grabbed him this series.
He doesn't feel the pain right now.
You know, it's amazing what adrenaline can do for you. You can get hurt and thinking you're out of it, and all of a sudden you get fired up, you get a turnover, you get a big 4th down play, you got it in their territory, you're back into the game, and you forget you're even hurt.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning with the score 24-0 Jacksonville.
There's nothing better than being named Motor Trend Sport Utility of the Year. Well,
Sweetie, I need a ride.
It's a grandmother versus foster parents in a heated adoption case.
That white couple can't begin to understand what it means to have black skin in this country.
Judging Amy, CBS Tuesday.
24-0 Jacksonville, 2 minutes to go, second quarter. Coming up, a special Halloween NASDAQ halftime report. The ghost host, the Pumpkinhead, Randy Frankencross, and Count Jerry will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. It's trick or treat on a spooky NASDAQ halftime report. You know what?
I thought they were going to dress up.
They've never looked better. Second down and goal from the Cincinnati 3. Brunell goes down after releasing the ball and gets up slowly.
And you don't want your all-pro quarterback taking more brutal hits, especially when you're up 24-0. And I suspect this should be the last drive. And that's helmet on chest, driven into the ground.
Canute Curtis. Another look.
And that's a shot. When your head snaps back like that, you know you've taken a shot. And it's just, after this touchdown, if that's what they do.
Third down goal from the 3. Brunell almost picked off. Intended for Kyle Brady, went right through his hands. And here comes the field goal unit.
And I really think that's why they kept Mark Brunell in. They wanted to get him another touchdown pass, get that confidence rolling, but I think they've got plenty of confidence today, and you just can't take the chance with your quarterback getting hit. And if you don't think he's got some juice on the ball, ask Kyle Brady, because he fired it, went right through his hands, knocked him down, knocked him on his back.
Hollis in to attempt a 21-yarder. He's already been successful on a 43-yarder. It's up and good. 1:46 to go, first half. All Jacksonville.
Where's this digital workplace of the future? Where's this mecca of digitized knowledge? This no-sweat, sit-at-my-desk, rule-the-world office network?
0-0, 1:46 to go. Mack in the end zone takes the knee. So Mark Brunell, the question is he done? Very solid first half. Brunell, and look at the first 5 possessions. They get points out of all of them. Touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal.
I think the Jacksonville offense is bad. And you really got to credit Coach Coughlin, because he's been taking some heat about this offense being too conservative. And he told us yesterday, well, my first comeback's always, well, we're 5-1. That's a pretty good reply.
Kill it, get there, you know what?
Keely Smith, incomplete, intended for Corey Dillon.
And Keely Smith's telling Corey Dillon he's got to whip his head around early. With that blitz, you've got to be hot. And we talked about that. You know when you're hot, when that linebacker comes and you're out on the route, you've got to turn your head around.
Jacksonville Jaguars, first 6 games, 2 touchdowns in the first half. Different story today against the Bengals. Smith in trouble. Decides to run. And gets out of bounds at the 35. 16-yard gain, first down.
It's been one of the few bright spots for the Bengals offense is Keely Smith breaking the pocket, and Jacksonville looking to get a lot of pressure, bringing the blitz. See Beasley coming. When you bring all the guys in the blitz, there's nobody up there in that secondary level to stop the quarterback once he breaks the pocket. Keely's got a few long runs today out of it. It's really been the success of the Bengals offense.
3 carries, 40 yards for Keely Smith. And Smith sacked. Number 7 of the year, Tony Brackens. What a season he's having.
And this is Tony Brackens, and he is coming right now, and he comes right underneath the tackle on the outside on a stunt, and there's nobody home. The guard, the center, they've got to know that that's a stunt. When he comes up far underneath, up through the middle of the line, somebody's got to be there to block him.
Brackens in the final year of his 4-year contract with Jacksonville. And Michael Hugh, the senior vice president of football operations, is going to have to open up the vault to that young man next year. Dillon on the screen, goes down at the 42. Gain of 16. Cincinnati calls timeout. 53 seconds to go.
Florsheim leather wingtips. Available online in 299 retail locations.
Ooh, candies.
Oh, classic Doc Martens. Full grain leather, lug soles, available online in 234 retail locations.
Ooh, hey, Steve Madden.
27-0, 53 seconds to go. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry have all the scores and highlights from around the NFL week number 8. Third down, 4 for the Bengals from the 43. Here comes the safety blitz. Smith in trouble, and he is sacked by Aaron Beasley. 4th sack of the first half.
And that's one of the toughest things to pick up as an offense, that corner blitz. You've got to have one of your backs checking out wide, or you've got to get rid of that ball. When that blitz is coming, you've got to hit your hot receivers. And it seems like these Bengals receivers are running deep downfield. They need some check downs shorter for Keely Smith.
Will Bryce standing at the 25. Reggie Barlow back deep at the 17. Wobbly kick, short. Barlow from the 25-yard line up to the 30. Injured player on the field, Tremaine Mack at the 25-yard line. Getting up slowly. And he walks off on his own.
Mark Burnell still in the game. 13 seconds. You just wonder if they're going to have him heave it downfield. I think they got to just fall on the ball, and that's what they're going to do with McCardell back deep.
And that will take us to the end of the first half. Mark Brunell, 11 of 19, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tom Coughlin says, hey, we're not conservative, Brent Jones. We threw the ball down the field in the first half. 27-0, our score at halftime. Coming up, the NASDAQ halftime report with Jim Nance and company in New York.
Monday on the Comedy Broadcasting System.
Welcome back to Synergy Field. Halftime, the Jaguars up big, 27-0. Gus Johnson and Brent Jones with you. When we talked to Tom Coughlin yesterday, we had him field some questions about his conservative nature on offense. Well, I think he's proving everybody wrong. They aren't conservative today.
Yeah, we don't like conservative offense here at CBS. We want them to see it aired out, and they came out here in the first half. They were very aggressive. They were throwing the ball, making some plays, getting Mark Brunell ready to go, and he made some plays to his receivers. You want them being in sync. You want the offense in sync. The defense has been their strengths thus far. You see Mark Brunell here tweak that rib injury. He has that muscle underneath his rib thrown across his body. That's not good here late in the second quarter, too, taking a big shot. You don't want your all-pro quarterback taking shots. When you're ahead 27-0, there's not a whole lot of reasons to keep him in there.
Now, the Jaguars average 329 yards in offense per game. They have 278, the most illuminating stat in the first half of play.
Those are the only stats you have to see right there, Gus. Total yards, turnovers, all that leads to that score, 27-0. And it's probably not going to get a whole lot better for the Bengals here in the second half.
Jeff Blake will play quarterback for the Bengals in the second half. Keely Smith getting x-rayed, rather. He has a problem with his left toe. Excuse me, right toe. Tremaine Mack back deep. Starts from the 2.